Hello, beautiful listeners. Hello to any new listeners, and welcome to this episode where I want to just hopefully help liberate you from this trap. And it is caring about what they think. So I have a few things to share on this as a recovering people pleaser, um, recovering person who just used to give weight to everybody and everything outside of me and always trying to keep the peace and just keeping myself very small in the process. So I want to talk you through this with so much love, so much recognition for the fact that this is a process. So wherever you are on this part of the journey is absolutely fine. But my intention for this episode is to help just shift and shake you into whatever is calling you next. Because one of the pieces, being here on the earth plane in the bodies that we're in, is the thing that holds so many people back is what others think. And this comes up time and time again, whatever stage of the journey you're at, however much work you've done on your inner self, whatever you've created in your life, at some point this comes up. And even if you feel like you've dealt with it, often it comes up in another form or another layer. So let's just shine a light on this subject. And as you're hearing these words, I just invite you to breathe, receive these words. Some of these are activating, and just to allow it to stir up inside of you whatever needs to be stirred up, whatever needs to be released, and just bringing to your attention whatever you need to recognize in your own life. So, I want to start with really asking you to take a beautiful breath just to get into this energy for a moment. And as we tune into it, the first thing I want to share is what's coming through, because I never plan what I'm going to say. I just have the topic and then whatever comes through comes through. So what's coming through straight away is what I used to have this conversation with a friend of mine, Natalie, and we would have these conversations about what other people think, and she would always laugh because I'd say, well, who are they? Who are they anyway? So let's start there. When you're thinking about what people think about you, so bring to mind, what is it right now? Is it the things that you're doing in your life or your business or your art or creativity or your relationships? Is it the choices that you're making? Is it like, what is coming up for you? And who specifically are you concerned with? Because often it could be what you're doing already, what you have done, and sometimes it can be what you're about to do or would like to step into. So when you get that kind of contracted, kind of really like crappy feeling that comes in and you start worrying about what people are thinking, I want you just to ask yourself, well, let's before we just backtrack for a second. First of all, just acknowledge this is the first bit actually. Um, First of all, just acknowledge that. Are you concerned with this? Because sometimes this can be hidden. So let's just pull it out right now, pull it out energetically. Just take a moment just to consider the thing you want to be doing or wish you could be doing or maybe are doing. Are there any concerns around? Does it feel open for you to share it loud and proud, or does it feel like something comes up? Because I want to start there because a lot of people don't even realize. I didn't for a while. I didn't realize that actually I was concerned with what people thought. I thought I was being very open. And then when I drilled down and reflected, I realized, oh, I am a little bit holding myself back because of what others will think. So, first of all, just acknowledge. So, now we want to come to who specifically. So, when we think of, oh, I can't share that, I can't speak this, I can't choose this for myself, I can't change, release whatever you've got going on because of what they'll think. Well, first of all, who are they? Because they feel it can feel like all encompassing every single human on the planet. It feels like the whole world is stacked against you. No one understands you. Everyone will be judging you. Everyone will have opinions, views, ideas about you. But honestly, when you start to reflect, you can most often, more than not, realize that actually you're really concerned by just a few people, maybe one, could even be one person. It could be a few people. It could be a specific group of people. So for me, it was one of my things, used to be like school friends. So that was a funny one. It was like I was very starting to get very vocal and open on social media, on my platforms. I was sharing my messages. I was talking about things like energy and past lives and me channeling and all of these things. that felt really expansive. But then sometimes I would go into this contraction around, shit, what will people think? Like, it came up when I came out as a channel, and I was literally talking about channeling my angelic team, my Arcturian team, and that, I know that's very out there for some people, a lot of people, right? Not to me in my world and people who get me, but to many, this is very odd and strange, and they can make a lot of judgments around it. So when I started to feel contracted and I held myself down a little bit, it was like, who specifically am I worried about? Because there are lots of people I'm not worried about. There are people, for example, that you know that maybe they don't even hold a great opinion about what you do, but their opinion doesn't really feel that significant to you. You're okay with that. But they're most likely are going to be one or two or a handful or a group of people who it does trigger you. So for me, when I drilled down, I realized, oh, for some reason it's school friends. It's not even the ones that were necessarily closest to me. It was just those kind of other school friends that I knew that they knew me in a certain way, and now I'm coming out with this. I just had this weird concern about what they thought, and then when I started to see it, I could just shake myself out of it and remind myself that that's bullshit. That's okay. You can release that. So really starting to think about, who is it? Sometimes, it could be like, I did have a little bit of a thing before of like past work colleagues. It was like, oh, what are they going to think of me? They saw me as a lawyer. They saw me as this type of person. And now I'm out here doing this kind of work. Like, what are they going to think of me? So I want you just to think, if you need to pause this for a minute, pause it and just give yourself a moment to reflect on, who are they? Who are they specifically? And then the next thing I want to invite you to do is also question, well, who are they? Like, who the hell are they? Why do they, with so much love, whether you feel this towards them or not, but who gets to say that they get to dictate or have these opinions about your life? And I know that that can be challenging depending on your history, your experiences, what you've healed within yourself, what you haven't, what's to come for you. But I would just want to shine the light for you wherever you are right now. It's like, who the hell gets to give give them any kind of authority over you, right? Any responsibility? And I want you to remind yourself right now, because sometimes we get caught in these ideas that people have like this authority over us. I want to remind you of what you already know, and it's this. So just take a breath in right now and just let it go. And I want to remind you of this. You, beautiful soul that you are a divine consciousness, whether or not you believe that or know this to be true. You are a divine consciousness. You are a light. You are a soul. And so you made a decision to drop into this human form. It was a very well thought out decision on behalf of your soul. You made the decision to come into this physical body, into your body, into this part of the world, wherever you are, wherever you've been. You made a decision to be here on the earth plane. And your soul, you as a soul, made choices around how you wanted to come into this lifetime, heal certain things, shift certain things, step into energies. You came with a soul blueprint that had all these ideas and desires and intentions. And these ideas, desires, and intentions came off the back of all of your previous lives, your experiences, everything you've accumulated. You had certain lessons you already learned, you had certain experiences already in the bag, you'd already experienced them. So you had certain reasons for being here. So you came all the way into this physical form that we call Earth, the Earth plane. And you came here to live out your experiences and create things that you had not yet created from your soul. I also want to remind you that you listening, especially as you're still here listening to this message for some reason, you're still here. Your soul also recognized that humanity was going through a massive ascension, transformation, shift. So you wanted to come in and you wanted to participate. I know, crazy, right? We all did. We chose to come in here and see this thing through and start to really observe the shift and hold the light in our bodies, and be here for this crazy ride, this crazy time. So you had incredibly important soul based reasons for being here. It wasn't an accident, it wasn't a coincidence. So I'm reminding you of this because you already know, even if you don't consciously know, you already know this. So, you coming in with that level of power, with that beautiful soul blueprint, you coming in with those desires for more. Maybe, you want to have that relationship, or you want to change your body and create this health and fitness for yourself. You want to overcome some adversity or obstacle. You want to share your message with the world. You want to create your own business, or create a family life, or innovate something, or just expand and live and experience in a bigger way somehow. Whatever your version is, you came in with this desire, and it's sacred, it's beautiful, it's magical, and it's fun. So just snap back into reality here. With all this said and done, with all this contained within your beautiful, beautiful, majestic, magnificent soul, to come here then and then let the opinions of others sway us from that makes no sense. There's just, it's okay if you've done that. I did it for a long time. But now's the time to start releasing. Now is the time to start really giving yourself permission to start stepping out of this constraint if you have it, to start recognizing and realizing, oh, how interesting. I've been living my life according to other people's rules. I've been making choices to keep other people happy. I've been trying to keep the peace in my family, or my friendship circle, or my community. I've been trying to do this. I've been trying to placate everybody else. And so when you step back and see the bigger picture, this is not what your soul came to do. This is not, and recognize the fact that here you are in the middle of the day or night or whatever time you're listening to these words. You're receiving this as a reminder. You're receiving this as an activation. You're receiving this as a beautiful kind of reminder, and just a kind of jolt out of your normal maybe existence right now, to remember you get to release it. What would happen? So this is for you to reflect. What would happen then if you just practiced, or took the leap, if you feel so inclined, into not giving so much credit to other people's views about you? And here's the other thing, sometimes our minds will feed us this idea as well, that other people are criticizing us and other people are talking about us and judging us. And sometimes that is true, but sometimes it isn't. Sometimes that's just coming from our own inner critic, our own hang ups, our own worries. It doesn't mean that it is. But the thing is, we have no way of knowing. Like, even if you're very in tune with energy, even if you're very, very intuitive and you can pick up, and often many of us can, we can pick up the lack of resonance with people. You can almost feel when someone's judging you. And yes, this kind of adds another interesting layer to things. So you can't avoid it. You already know when people are judging you. So if they're already judging you, why live your life in accordance with their rules? They're already judging you, and that's okay. You're not going to die from this. And actually, sometimes we've had past life experiences where to be kind of ousted from the community or not accepted as part of society maybe did cause us very, difficult consequences. It kind of meant a threat to our survival if we weren't accepted by the village, we weren't accepted by our communities, and we were kind of cast out for being different, or cast out for things that we weren't maybe complying with in that way. We weren't like everybody else. That can maybe be impacting us now very, subconsciously. We had the whole witch trials, right? Many people were persecuted with being different, having different intuitive gifts, speaking out, being the healer, the wise woman, doing and bringing in these energies. And so we may have had some experiences, but here's the message: it is safe. It is safe for you to be fully you. Just breathe this in. It is safe for you to express. It is safe for you to create whatever it is that you came here to create or shift or transform or heal. It is safe for you to really create things the way that you wish to see them and do them and live them. Whatever you're creating, you get to shape it in the ways that please you. And those people that resonate will gravitate towards you, and those people that don't resonate will fall away. And so sometimes that's the part that makes us want to hang on, but actually it's not serving anyone. It's not serving anyone, because not only is it not serving you, it's not serving them, because nobody is really connecting on that deeper level. So this is your permission, your sign, whatever you want to take it as, that you really do get to step out of this. And actually, the more that you do, the more that you can expand. And the more you expand, the more solid and safe and steady you can feel inside of you. And then you're not looking for the outside validation anymore. You start to recognize your own power. You start to recognize the truth of who you really are. And that in turn allows you to expand and move forwards on a deeper level. And you continuously shift and evolve and grow exactly as you came here to do. But it does require us to recognize where we're holding ourselves back. Where are we kind of shrinking down and trying to keep people happy at the expense of our own happiness? And I'm talking here whether it's a family member, a loved one, a friendship, a colleague, a child of yours, a parent of yours, or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. It's really, the message is the same. Like, who are they to judge what you're doing? They are not walking in your shoes. And a lot of people that I work with, clients in one to ones or programs, or even those who join my community in general, they often identify as this different type. And often many of us feel very different to our own family members. We feel very different to the communities we're in or our friendship circles that we grew up with. And so a lot of what's happening now, as I'm recording this right now, we are in, where are we? We're April 2022. And there are so many shifts happening, and they'll continue to shift. But a lot of relationships are, people are finding they're outgrowing their relationships. They're no longer resonating with people. They feel different to the people that they used to relate to. So if this is you, know that it's normal. It's part of this ascension process. And so it's even more important for you to release what they think, caring about what others think of you, because that's one of the biggest traps that holds you back. And it's really, now the call is to bring it back to your own awareness, to your own truth, starting to tap more into your own soul blueprint, your own reasons for being here, what it is that you really want. And if you're not sure, just as you're hearing this, I invite you just to recognize what you don't like. So even if you're not fully sure of what it is that you're stepping into, I'm pretty sure that you can make a list of things that you're just not resonating with. These don't feel good to you. They're not sticking with you anymore. You're feeling uncomfortable. Make a list of those things, because those things will make way and help you realize what you're actually wanting instead. So that's another way to do it. So yeah, releasing the comparison to other people, caring what they think, getting really, narrowing it down who specifically, because it's just like a handful of people. It could even be just one person, and it feels like a whole group. So you can start to kind of lighten the load on that. And if you're wanting help, by the way, on tapping into more of your soul nature, your starseed nature, your reasons for being here, your mission, you want to activate more, I do have a single session that I offer. It's an in-depth session that I offer, and we channel the guidance through. It's very powerful. So check that out on my website for anyone that is interested. You can find it on my website, theawakerevolution.com. There's also a link in the description of this podcast where it will just take you, I think, to ways of working with me. So you can find that session there. It's the Starseed or Soul activation and channeled guidance single session. So just a side note for any of you that are feeling you really are ready to activate and step into this, you're ready, you're wanting it, you're wanting to receive this, check that out, and I can help you with that. But aside from that, it's just giving yourself permission. So just to wrap this episode up, can you in this moment make a declaration? I invite you to make a declaration into giving yourself permission. I now give myself permission to follow my own path. You can repeat this in your mind or out loud. I now give myself permission to release caring about what others think about what I'm doing. I give myself permission to release the chains I'm holding on to. And I give myself permission to step into the truth of me and what I came here to live. And we want to remind you as well that whether you outgrow relationships, which can be sad, it can bring up things, whether you have a difficult time in your relationships as this is coming up for you, or it's just feeling uncomfortable and it makes you, causes a lot of different emotions to come up. We want to remind you, and I'm always reminded by my team as well, my divine team, that all is well on a soul level. So even if you find that you have to release people, you have to sort of block them out a little bit, you have to just fully focus on your own mission, and in doing so it maybe ruffles some feathers or it just shifts your dynamics with people. Just know that this is all the human experience playing out, and on a soul level all is well. Souls fully understand what is playing out, why the dynamics are the way they are, why you're learning and growing and experiencing certain things. And on the other side of this life, everything is perfect. You do not harbor resentments and judgments against others. You will connect with your loved ones, your people, on a soul level that will never be taken away. So sometimes that helps just to release the burden, release the responsibility and the pressure, and to know that it is okay. You have the green light, and your guides would be there supporting you on this. You have the green light, because I know some of you need to hear this one. You have the green light to just go ahead, move forwards, shift forwards, keep expanding and evolving. Let everybody fall where they may. But on a soul level, the love has never ever stopped. It never will stop, and your connection will continue. So it's okay. It's all okay. So I send you so much love. I would love to hear your thoughts or feelings or feedback on this episode. So feel free to reach out as always, and I will speak to you in the next episode. I send you so much love.